Hi guys, welcome to Pitch Points in collaboration with Afrobeat Live Fan Zone, and we are here today to talk about what we love the most. At least for me, we're here to talk about football with some wonderful people all the way from the US, but also from England as well. I have with me Yan City at Yannicka. Yannicka, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
Well, I'm well. It's always good to see you. Always great to have you. I love your opinions on Twitter. I follow you. I think you're fantastic. You keep me balanced and well. You keep me balanced, which I can be a little on the other side, but you keep me balanced. I'm glad to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. I also have with me my other blue. He is in the US. Lives quite near me. He also keeps me balanced. I must have a problem. But, so Adi and I have vigorous debates about City. We love the club. We're one of the newer fans, but we truly, truly love the club. Win, lose, draw, we always kind of help each other out, and we have our analysis. So Adi, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Welcome. Good to be back.
Fantastic. And I have all the way from Everton, Carl Blundell. He's an Everton fan. He has good insights on football. And he knows my regard for Everton over the past years, since 1995. So it's always good to have him on the show. Welcome, Carl.
Hello, everybody. How is everyone?
Good.
Very well. So today is going to be a quick one, guys. Really quick one. I'm going to talk about Premier League, but just a couple of games, real quick, and then we'll talk about Tuesday and Wednesday. Some big matches coming up this week in the Champions League for both English clubs and other clubs as well. So let's start off with the Premier League. Let's talk about today's game, Everton and Brighton. Carl, what happened, man? Every time you guys have a chance to go top four, you guys just throw it away. What's going on with Carlo and the boys?
I said it to everybody on here 4 weeks ago. We haven't got a chance of top four. We're not consistent enough. And not just that, it's for me, I think Carlo's took this squad as far as he can without the proper backing. You know, you can't turn shite into good. You can't turn shite into gold. And we're seeing that now. He's struggling turning the crap that we have into a proper team, and you can see it's struggle. He's struggling because, let's be honest, we've got a good starting 11, but when you lose Alan, Rodriguez, Calvert-Lewin was shit, and I'm sick of the excuses from some people. You know, yes, we have injuries, and yes, we have bad home form, but everyone has bad home form. Not many teams have got. No one's got fans in world football. Teams have got injuries. Everyone's got the same excuse, and let's be honest. Carlo spoke after we beat Liverpool 2-0. Carlo said we want top four, but I said I just want Europe, and Carlo wants Europe. I don't think the players do, and to be honest, I just want the season to end because I'm in the same position as I was in last year when we had 10 games left of the season after coming back from lockdown, and we lost like 7 out of 10 or 6 out, and I'm just back to that because, to be honest, that was awful. Like, I would have rather have seen, us play and us show fight and lose than just take that. It's awful. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, and also, like, I don't want to ramble on, but I think Carlo, as much as I love him and I think he's the best manager we could have got, I think he deserves some of the blame tonight. And against Palace as well. Because what is he doing taking off James against Palace? You can't take off your best players for players like Tom Davis. Not Tom Davis, for like Alex Iwobi and that. It's stupid. And today, I don't understand. You're playing 5 at the back against Brighton. Like, I know they're a good side, but we should be washing Brighton away. You know what I mean? Everyone else does it, so why can't we? We've got the players to do it. And that's the problem. You know, if that was Marco Silva, the fan base would be jumping on his back. But because it's Carlo, as much as I love Carlo, but it's fair criticism. You can't have one way of criticism for one manager and then different for another. I'll criticise anybody, and it was poor today. It was shit.
Yannicka and Adi, any sympathy for Everton fans? I mean, what's the best hope now? Europa League or Europa Conference League? What are your thoughts, Yannicka and Adi?
I don't know what's going on with Everton, to be honest, because I thought they would win tonight. You know, I thought there's quite a few games like Fulham that I thought they would win. I think they were at home. So there's quite a few. Like, I actually want Everton to get top four. Like, my granddad is an Everton fan, so I really want them to get top four. But just seems to be, because even Liverpool, like, at one point, they were on, like, the same points as Liverpool with 2 games in hand. And now it's, like, 1 game in hand and they're 4 points behind. So it's just, like, I don't know what they're really doing. Because some weeks they look fantastic and you think, wow, look at this Everton team. And then the next week they're struggling against Fulham. So it's really strange. Obviously, I don't watch Everton week in, week out, but they do have a good squad. And yeah, I think they should be doing better with the manager that they have and the squad that they have. That being said, there are a lot of teams fighting for a few positions this season. Like even the top 4 race, that's far from over. There's about 6 or 7 teams that could realistically finish in the top 4. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. So
absolutely. I think we'll talk about top 4 in a minute, but I think this game knocks Everton out to the top 4 conversation. Do you think so, or is there any hope? Is it best hope?
Yeah, I think it probably knocks them out because the other teams playing right now are in very good form. Because I'm looking at Liverpool. Liverpool's climbing. West Ham isn't slowing down. Chelsea's still there. So I think Everton is kind of on the fringe right now. I think unless they turn some good form in the next few games, I mean, all they do have to concentrate on is the league. It's possible, but I don't know. I think missing that big presence in the middle, they don't have Decore, and I think that's hurting them a lot. I don't feel like today's game. I watched it, and Brighton actually outplayed them. They were moving the ball so easily, and it's just hard to see how they come back from that. I don't know. I don't think it's possible. I think they're out. I think their probably best bet is to try to get in Europe at this point.
I don't want Europe. No, I've changed my mind on it. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know it does sound crazy, but the reason why I don't want Europe is because for me, we've seen what we're like. You know what I mean? You've got to have a balanced squad to compete in both Europe and the Premier League and the FA Cup, the League Cup, and you know, them 4 competitions. City, obviously, you're a million miles better than us, but you have a balanced squad. Manchester United have a balanced squad. Liverpool have a balanced squad. Tottenham is shit, but most of the teams in the Prem have a balanced squad that compete in loads of competitions where we don't. And we'll have the same problem we had under Koeman, where we just haven't got the squad to compete in both competitions, and we'll be tired and we'll have more injuries, and it'll just mess the season up. And to be honest, I believe we can attract any player we want because of Carlo, and he has that name. So that's the good thing. But I want us to see, you know, maybe miss out in Europe and next season try and just build on what he's done, because to be honest, 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was blessed after beating the shite, thinking it's, you know, we're going to pick up. But look, I know everyone's probably you know, depressed right now and probably want to do something, so I'm fucking depressing you all, but it's shit, you know. And like I said, you've got to want it. That's the thing. You've got to want Europe, and you know, when you're playing, and you're playing against Brighton and Palace, and let's be honest, we had 20 shots against Palace and put the ball in once, and then today we had 8 shots against Brighton. And I know they play nice, but we made Brighton look like prime Barcelona. We made Neil Maupay look like Messi. Do you know what I mean? Neil Maupay.
Yeah. I mean, clearly, Everton are ready for the top 4, and so I think the best they can do is Europa League or the new competition, UEFA Conference League. So we'll keep an eye on you guys. We'll wish you the best. But you know, it doesn't lie at the end of the day. So let's talk about Leeds versus City versus Leeds, guys. Yannick and Ade. Well, I mean, Yannick, you know, I talked about this all week about this result, and I was like, you know, I don't expect much from this game, because for me, I was looking at, you know, the 3 games we have coming up, right? Wednesday against Dortmund, Saturday against Chelsea, and then Villa coming up. And then we get into the EFL final, and then we have Champions League coming up again. So for me, for all the games that we have coming up, this probably is the least important game we have in the next 2 weeks or so. That was my perspective. So when I saw the lineup, I was like, well, whatever happens, happens. A lot of fans are melting down about this result, Yannicka. What's going on? And Adi, I'll come to you about your perspective.
Do you know what? I think it's one of them. I agree with you. Pep had to prioritise the Champions League. It's a no-brainer. We've gone out every season at the quarterfinals, and it's always blamed on Pep. City are always seen as a failure. So he has to prioritise that game. That is a no-brainer. Not starting De Bruyne was the correct decision. If he starts De Bruyne gets injured and we go out, it's on Pep. So he has to take it seriously. Leeds, okay, we do need to get the Premier League wrapped up. That we do need to do that. But we have leeway in the Premier League. We don't have any in the Champions League. We have a 1-goal lead, which isn't an away goal. So we don't have the same leeway in that. So we have to prioritize that. It makes no sense to play our strongest team against Leeds, beat Leeds, and then we lose to Dortmund, because we can win the Premier League whether we beat Leeds or not. The reason why Man City fans are melting down is because I think it's just because it's Man United. I think if any other team are in second position, I don't think Man City fans are melting down the same way they are. I do think it's because we came back from 8 points in 2012, but the difference between that and now is there's no Manchester derby, so there's nothing to swing it in Man United's favour. There's also, you know, we do have some difficult games, but United also have some difficult games, and they're not on the form of their life. They're not winning every single game. They're on decent form, don't get me wrong, but they've drawn 3 out of the last 8 games or 2 out of the last 7. So they have 7 games left. If they continue how they have been playing,
no points,
then they would draw 2 and would still win the league. So I think City fans are just getting a bit, I think they're just a bit paranoid that you could bottle it. But I can't see how Pep, De Bruyne, Gundogan, you know, Fernandinho, players like that, I don't see how them players let Man City collapse and that happen with this Man United team, who every time they get to the final push, they start falling down. So I just think Man United are doing well at the moment because there's no pressure on them to win. The minute there's pressure on them to win, they probably won't win. So I don't know. It's one of them. I think if we win on Wednesday, I think everyone thinks Pep did the right decision. We're not too fussed. But if we lose on Wednesday, that's when people will start saying, see, we should have just played our squad against Leeds. But that Sam Lee, the journalist, he made a really good point because he actually said, whether or not we win on Wednesday, as a manager, you have to put out your strongest side and give yourself the best chance of winning. Whether we go through or not will be down to the players or maybe the tactics or whatever. But you have to put yourself in that position. If we win or not is irrelevant. You still have to do that. So I think Pep did the right decision, but I just think if we beat Villa, you know, if we beat Dortmund, we beat Chelsea, and then we beat Villa, City fans are fine. But I think it's just that anxiety of, oh, this could potentially fail. Do you know what I mean? But
those are fantastic points that you're making. I think I retorted to you today, and on Twitter I said, you know, anybody see Man United drop 9 points to get out of the top 4? No, but we're 11 points ahead of them. So why mathematically would we think we're afraid of that? And the fact is we don't play them again, and it's not the same team. It's not. So, and to your point, there is no head-to-head coming up. It's literally 11 points right now, and they have to play Liverpool. We have to play Chelsea. We have to play 2 games, but there's a buffer. I mean, welcome Ty to the stream. Ty's a Chelsea fan. He's joining us as well. Welcome, buddy. What did you think about the game? What was your expectation about the game? The Leeds game. We didn't even chat on WhatsApp about the game. We were so like, it's one of those things. What was your thought?
So maybe I have a little bit of a different perspective. I think that's a winnable. I'm not concerned about the league. My perspective is a lot different. I'm not concerned about the league. The league is wrapped up. I mean, unless somebody's of the opinion that Man United is going to win out and we're going to lose 3 games, I think that's ridiculous. I'm not worried about the league. I'm more worried about players that they're supposed to be at top form and they're a bit disappointing for me. Like, I don't know what happened to Sterling. I mean, he missed a sitter, and I felt like John Stones was doing way too much in that game, more than he needed to be doing. He's a center back, and you saw him at times playing like Kevin De Bruyne, which forced them up the field. I know they were chasing the goal towards the end, and that's what caused that counter attack, where he left a bit too much space in the middle, and they slipped that ball right past him, and Dallas was on through. So I get why that happened. But for me, I think that first goal, Cancelo is what I've been telling you all season long. This is why he doesn't start. Because defensively, as a fullback, your primary job. So again, my analysis is more what happened in the game. Your primary goal as a fullback is defense. Cancelo doesn't know that. Cancelo thinks he's part of the midfield, and he plays like that. And it's because Pep gives him that leeway to do so. And so that goal was clearly him just losing his mind and not knowing what he should be doing, where he turned around and he tried to play the ball with his back turned to the ball. And I was like, what is he doing? And that goal went through. And so I wasn't worried about them losing the game. I was worried about the performance. The performance was it was uninspiring, especially for, even though it's our second team, I still feel like they could have won that game. And you're just showing to Pep why you guys don't play and why you guys won't be in the first team. That's all you're showing him right now. He's justified in starting Walker, in not starting Sterling, in all these guys not playing. And that's all it showed me. It's just like it was a bit disappointing that, with the man up, you guys couldn't pull this out. And Pep is like, oh, next week when you come to me and ask me why you're not playing, hey, look at the Leeds game. That's it. So that's how I saw it.
Charlie says, Charlie, welcome, Charlie. Charlie says Walker's a better overall right back than Cancelo. You're in the chat group with me and Adi. This is a debate that we have all the time. I think we've agreed that two of them have different roles that they play for our team in different formations. I think Walker is a better defender, no doubt, than Cancelo is, but there are times when we play Cancelo in a different system that allows him to go forward and create opportunities for people to score. So it's an interesting one, but I wasn't too bothered about the game. I just don't know. It's one of the games I just wasn't really worried about. Maybe because we have the buffer, as Yannicka said, between United and us. Maybe it's because the focus, I think, for the players is the Champions League, right? Getting over that Dortmund game on Wednesday is a number one priority over anything. Because you get over that game, it changes everything. I've talked about Pep's problem is getting to the final of every competition. It's not winning the final. His problem, I think at Barcelona, he said, look, get me to the final, I'll make you win the competition. And out of 14 competitions, in fact, he won 13 in his career. 13 out of 14 finals. So his problem is not, even at Bayern Munich wasn't the final. The problem was getting to the final through the semifinals and the quarterfinals. And so this is the priority on Wednesday, and hopefully we take one step further. Bolu says this season's all Man City. Man United probably drop more points than City. The big question is, does Man City have a chance of winning the Champions League? My opinion is they have as good chance as anybody else winning the Champions League at this time. But Ty, how did you see the game, the Leeds City game on Sunday? Saturday. I know we talked about it on chat. You're on mute, buddy. Unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having all types of technical issue. That's why I was late. I had to restart my computer, so I apologize, guys, for being late. But I do agree with what I did said because it wasn't the game. The outcome of the game does not affect City in any way, right? Mm-hmm. There's two concerns. One, the performance of the players, like Ade says. Mm-hmm. And then the second concern for me, if I was a City fan, would be the momentum going into a Champions League game and losing to Leeds, right? So you're always worried about the momentum. I don't fault Pep for resting players. I mean, any player should do that. And I've always said in this show and everywhere else that City is deep. And this is how you show how deep you are, the depth of your team by resting players for Champions League and half player that starts. Every player he started at virtual starters on City team. They're not, it's not like he's going too far deep into the bench. Sterling is a starter. He couldn't finish, So the outcome doesn't affect City in any way. It's just the performance and hopefully the sluggishness and the momentum that City has had over the last few games will not flow over to that second leg of the Champions League. That's my only concern.
Yeah, I agree.
Yannicka and Carl, Ty talks about the starters. Arguably, is Sterling, Jesus, Fernandes, are they starters in our team right now? If we had a Champions League final, would they start? Or would we go for the false nine that Pep normally goes with?
I don't think at the moment, Sterling he's been very inconsistent this season. He's not been at his best. So he has been more of a bench player this season. I think that Leeds game was his chance to prove to Pep that he deserves to start. And I think he failed, to be fair.
Failed miserably.
To be honest, in terms of the game, it was one of the most one-sided games I've ever seen. It was all City. They had 2 shots, 2 goals. Sorry, my nephew said that. And they had 2 shots, 2 goals. We had 29 shots. So on another day, we win that 4-0, and we're talking about how our backup squad still beat Leeds, So I think the players didn't do themselves any favors because, I said in the second leg that I would go with, because the squad that he started in the first leg, that was the squad that I would have picked. I was actually quite happy with that. And I thought for the second leg, maybe he could bring Sterling in, maybe not start off. But, towards the end where, the game's getting into that, serious time. And he just causes defenders and, he's a nuisance for defenders because he just runs and runs and runs. And, when Dortmund are getting tired, he's the perfect player to kind of bring on and just tire them out even more, So even if Sterling doesn't score, he will still cause a problem for the defense. So that's what I thought. But I think after that Leeds game, I can't see it now. I don't think he plays at all. So he's not really done himself any favors. But yeah, I think it just depends on who he goes with at the back. Obviously, rested Diaz, so Diaz will be first on the team sheet. Everyone's saying to bring Laporte back in, but Laporte in the Champions League has been one of our questionable players. So I don't know. It's a little bit of a risk to bring Laporte. So I really don't know. But I'm hoping that they just go out there and just play how we normally play. And I think we've got a good chance of winning, but it's going to be difficult.
Yeah. I think you're always dropping bombs here, Yannicka. And this point about Diaz and Laporte, I have my own argument. I think the reason why he may consider Diaz and Laporte is because you have Laporte being the natural left and then Diaz being the natural right, for that balance. Because when Stones and Diaz plays, they're good, but Diaz always plays on the left-hand side, so it's very hard for him to transition the ball over to the right wing or to the left wing because he's on his natural foot, right? That's the issue. But with the two natural center-backs, Laporte, left center-back, and Diaz, right center-back, it's easy for them to transition very quickly. So it's going to be a tough one for him to do. What would I pick? I don't know. That's why I'm not paid the big bucks like Guardiola is. So I wouldn't know. I mean, hopefully it's whatever he gets us to win the game as a whole. Let's talk about the top four quick. Time is going. And I'm going to share this. Can we all see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
We can see it.
So this is from it's the odds to finish top four from NBC. They shared it over the weekend. This is what they think as the top four: as United second, Leicester third, Liverpool fourth, Chelsea fifth, West Ham sixth, and Tottenham seventh. This is what they shared and projected before the Tottenham and West Ham game. I mean, the battle right now, guys, is between Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, and United, West Ham. Right? Do we disagree with this?
I mean, I can go first. I still think some way, somehow, Everton will still squeeze in. I know my top four, I'm still going to stick to it, which is City, United, Chelsea, Everton. I still don't see West Ham for some reason. Maybe I'm being too cocky. I still don't see no West Ham making it. Leicester may be the surprise. Because that's a massive, 3-point games between West Ham and Leicester they drop, and I'm afraid that they might be in a momentum where Vardy hasn't scored in a while. Iheanacho had a good month, and now he's kind of dried out. So I'm still going to stick with City, United, Chelsea, and Everton. Everton has a game in hand, and I'm a big believer in Carlo Ancelotti, so I'm going to stick with that.
So here's the problem, and I think just to kind of lay out the case, the problem Chelsea have, in my opinion, is Liverpool. It's not West Ham. West Ham have to play Chelsea, and so points are going to be dropped. Problem, Yannick and Ade, for Chelsea is not Leicester. The problem is Liverpool. Because of Liverpool's run towards the end of the season, the only game they have that's difficult is a United game. Everything else for them is winnable. But Chelsea have to play City, they have to play Arsenal, they have to play Leicester, they have to play some other team as well. So they have 4 difficult games, and they have Champions League probably against Real Madrid. I mean, what do you guys think? How is this going to end up? Is it going to be Liverpool? Is it going to be Chelsea? Is it going to be Leicester? West Ham, Yannicka?
Do you know what? Originally, I was adamant that Chelsea would get it, but they do have, like you said, it depends on the competitions because, like Liverpool, for example, if they go out on Wednesday, their only focus is getting top 4 because they need top 4 to attract the players they're going to want to buy. So Liverpool have to get top 4 pretty much. Chelsea, I think Chelsea obviously go through to the next stage of the Champions League. there's a
100%.
chance that we could beat Man City as well at the weekend. So depending on if that happens, their priority is not going to be on the Prem. So even though they need top four, it's how thinly they can spread their squad across 3 competitions, because that's the problem that we're having at the moment. I think they'll have the same problem. So I don't know. I think in that case, you would expect Liverpool to do it simply because they're in one competition and Chelsea could potentially be in 2 or 3. So I think based on that, it would swing in Liverpool's favour. As well, like you say, their hardest game is Man United. So I don't know. That could end up a draw or something like that. Chelsea do have some hard games. I'd love West Ham to get top 4, but I think their fixtures are quite hard. Leicester, I believe, have the hardest fixtures out of everyone. So they're probably favourites to drop out. So you could find that it finishes City, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, or Chelsea, Liverpool. But West Ham don't seem to be budging. Like every time you think West Ham might slip out, they seem to be winning. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But I would expect, based on how it is at the moment, I would expect Liverpool to finish top 4 because they kind of need to. And I would expect Chelsea to finish top 4. But yeah, I think I'd like to see West Ham finish top 4. I would.
Are they coming to you?
Spurs.
Yeah. That's right. Are they coming to you, buddy? Here's the issue, like another issue. So this whole top 4 discussion may actually be relevant because if City or Liverpool or Chelsea win the Champions League and Arsenal, by some luck, win the Europa League, then the 4th spot's gone. There is no 4th spot entering into the Champions League next year. Now it becomes top 3. So this rate now comes down to how do they manage all these permutations and all these games happening, and who comes out top? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I still have the same pick that I had a couple of weeks ago. I think I based that West Ham Leicester game on my prediction was based on that Leicester West Ham game. Whoever won that was going to be in top 4. I've always felt like Leicester is the doubt for me. West Ham, I don't know what it is about their team. I feel like they're playing so well. I see them in top 4. And Liverpool, the run of games they have, I mean, especially if they lose to Real Madrid, I don't know when it is, next week, they will put all their emphasis, tomorrow, they'll put all their emphasis into the league, which means I believe they're in the top 4. I believe West Ham's there. I believe Liverpool's there. I think Leicester has a chance, but I think they fall off because they have some really difficult games coming up. And I think that doesn't look good for Chelsea. Chelsea's playing well. So if Chelsea keeps playing well, along with all the other teams, who's able to sustain that momentum? I think for me right now, the way West Ham has been playing, I just don't see how they fall off. I mean, sure, they might come across the team and, I haven't seen their schedule yet and who they have to play next, but I don't see them losing that many games because the way they play, if you watch the way they play, it isn't luck. They're not just getting lucky. They're creating chances and creating these goals, and Lingard is playing fantastic. So I don't see them dropping off. I think it's West Ham, Liverpool, City, and United. That's how I see it right now.
Yeah. Carl Blundell, that West Ham Chelsea game is going to be massive. It's going to be humongous.
Yes.
Because whoever wins that game literally kicks one out of the competition.
Yeah.
And then also puts Liverpool away from them. It's going to be massive. What are your thoughts on that?
I pray to God, to the gods. I'm not religious, but I will be praying that Chelsea can destroy West Ham because I can't deal with us not getting top 4 and that horrible. Again, I swear, so I'm sorry. That horrible bastard getting top 4. He's a rat. I hate David. He's a snake. He'd sell his own wife down. He'd sell his wife to get a move at a big club. That's what he's like. He doesn't care about it. Oh, he's a rat. I hate him. You know what I mean? So I hope to God they don't get top 4. And Ty, I don't know how you can think we're getting top 4. There's not a bet. No way in hell. Do you know what I mean? If we get top 4, I'll probably run down my street naked, and that's not a good sight for nobody. You know what I mean? There is no chance in hell we're getting top 4 this season. Do you know what I mean? for me, the top four is, I think, City. I think the title's done for City. I think second United. I think that's already done. I don't know. I think United have already took second or took top four. I think third's Leicester, and I think fourth Chelsea. I just don't see Liverpool catching Chelsea. I don't see Chelsea losing again to the end of the season, to be honest. I see them winning probably every game, even City in the league, to be honest, because I think Chelsea's style is very conservative and it's not the most exciting football, but they get the 3 points almost every week, so I think it's a good. Even if they don't beat City, I don't see City beating them, because I think Chelsea will keep hold of the ball and will just sit everyone behind the ball and play that way. But so that's it. I just don't think Liverpool are that consistent. Tottenham haven't got a chance of Europe, never mind top four. We haven't got a chance of top four. Maybe West Ham, but again, I don't know what I'll do. I'll crawl into a hole if Liverpool and West Ham get top four. I don't know what I'll do. And Liverpool win the Champions League. I don't even know what that would. They'd be the worst summer of my life. Do you know what I mean? And I can't deal with them. You know what I mean? I can't deal with the shite having another Champions League because they don't shut up about it. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're like. They're horrible. I hate Liverpool, and I can't deal with them winning another Champions League.
Spoken like an Everton fan. Very correct. That's right.
Here's why I say I don't have Liverpool there, right? Liverpool is playing Real Madrid. Right now, I think Chelsea has the toughest schedule for the rest of the team that are fighting for top four. No doubt about it.
We sit our next 4 games.
But Chelsea's form is also the best out of all those teams. Liverpool is bipolar right now, right? They have a good game, a bad game. You don't know what to get from them. And Liverpool's schedule, the next game is against Real Madrid tomorrow. Then they play Leeds. Then Newcastle. Newcastle is fighting for their life. And
Newcastle is terrible.
Then they go to Old Trafford to play Man U. Southampton, they may beat Southampton, but West Brom is fighting for their lives. So
West Brom,
not an easy schedule. Real Madrid, Leeds, Newcastle, Man U, Southampton, West Brom. That's not easy for a team that is not consistent right now. And I love Klopp, but I don't think Klopp is thinking too straight.
Come on, don't say that. Nobody loves Klopp. He's horrible.
Here's the thing. I mean, the reality is that nobody really knows. With all the schedules that are coming up, no one really knows. Because you're right, Ty. Liverpool's form is schizophrenic, right? Yeah. And West Brom, how they're playing, I thought the Chelsea game was a fluke, but after today, the way they play against Southampton, that ain't no fluke. And they're a proper team. They're well coached. They know what they're doing. It's going to be difficult. So I thought Chelsea were going to make top four, but man, right now I don't even know. I don't know. I guess we'll find out who makes top four.
Carl, can I just say this to Ty? Ty, this is our this is the rest of our games. We have Tottenham at home. We're awful at home, so that's a guaranteed loss. And then we have Arsenal away, and maybe we might get a draw. And then we have Villa. Jack Grealish is going to absolutely have fun. It's going to be like we're going to be the swing, and he's going to be pushing us. It's just going to be a playground. He's probably going to get 10 goals past us in the first half. Then we have West Ham. That horrifies me. Then we have Sheffield United, which we'll win. And then we have Wolves, which we'll lose to because it's at home. And then we have Man City on the last day, and obviously I'm not confident about that.
Yeah, there's no chance top four. That's gone. Anyway, let's talk about tomorrow, and let's talk about Wednesday. I'm going to share this right now. Let me know if you can see my screen. If you can't see my screen, hold on a second.
I can see it.
There we go. Okay, guys, tomorrow and Wednesday, big games. Perhaps one of the biggest games of everybody's season for Liverpool, for City, and for Chelsea, which are probably through. Chelsea's through. I'm not going to worry about that one too much. You guys are going to get through either way. But let's not talk too much about it. Anything you want to say, Ty, about that game? Anything?
So I'm still going to stick with Bayern Munich. I'm sorry, guys.
Chelsea's game. We'll talk about Bayern Munich.
No, it's a done deal. I'm sorry. Chelsea game is a done deal. Done deal.
Okay. So if everybody agrees that's done, let's not waste time on that one. Did everybody disagree that that's done?
Yeah, that's done.
Okay. Annika, you disagree?
I love hearing it from ID that it's done.
Chelsea, I think Chelsea lose the game 1-0, but I think they'll win the leg overall. I just don't think Tuchel will care. I think it'll be a 1-0 or a 1-1. Because let's be honest, they're through, and there's no way Porto are getting 2 goals or 3 goals against Chelsea, and Chelsea aren't scoring. Because it looks like Kai Havertz is hitting a bit of good form as well. And I think we could see Kai Havertz go on a run, because he did it last year. The last 10 games, I think it was like 70% of his goal contributions came in his last 10 or 15 games. So you could see that happen for him now, and I think Chelsea is going to go through.
I think it's done. I think it was done the moment it got drawn, right? So Porto are the weakest team in the whole quartet, so I'm not surprised. Let's talk about this at Bayern versus Paris. Ty says he feels Bayern going to go through. I disagree, and I disagreed from day one. I thought PSG was going to go to Bayern Munich because of Mbappe and Neymar and Bayern's high line. 3 away goals in the Champions League. Bayern have to score at least 2 goals and not concede none, so you even get through. What do you think, Yannicka and Cal and Ade as well?
I think at the beginning, when I thought they'd be like Lewandowski, I thought Bayern Munich might go through, because I did think that Paris would win the whole thing at the start of the season. But then when I saw they got Bayern Munich, I thought Lewandowski at one end. I thought they'd have a good chance of going through. But I think without Lewandowski, they didn't have the best. I think Gnabry's still out as well, so they've not got the best attacking, forwards going forward, basically. And I think, like you say, 3 away goals. I think that is what's knocked Man City out so many times. Conceding 3 away goals. Monaco, it knocked us out. There's been quite a few times now. Liverpool knocked us out. So I think 3 away goals is very difficult to come back from. And yeah, I agree. I don't see Bayern Munich winning clear away by 2 or 3 goals. I don't really see it. I think PSG will definitely score, and I think they'll go through. Bayern Munich might win the game, but they won't. I don't think they'll go through.
I just found out that actually Lewandowski's out, Gnabry's out, Kingsley Coman is out, and then this guy's out, Boateng is out. We have 4 injuries out of the game tomorrow. If they pull it off, congratulations to them. But I don't see how they stop Mbappe, Neymar, and the Verratti's back. So all the injured players that Paris had are back. I don't see how. But again, it's football. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ty.
No, I was asking. I didn't know Boateng was out too. Jeez. So
There's a doubt. Gnabry's out. Kingsley Coman, the winger's out. So it's Lewandowski out. Gnabry's out.
Aish. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I think. Am I saying her name right? Yannicka. Yannick.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right. As she was saying, with Lewandowski playing, I always assume Bayern will win. I think Bayern had the best chance of winning it all with Lewandowski. I mean, he's the best striker in the world. Without him, I still felt like they had a chance. But then after that first leg, I picked Bayern to win the series, but after that first leg where, Bayern didn't they didn't change the way they played, and they kept playing that high line, and Mbappe was just having a feast all game long. And I just don't see how Bayern, with all those players missing, I don't see how they come back from that. So yeah, I think PSG move on. Hi, Charlie. I think PSG move on to win this. And so I'm picking PSG for going through. For Chelsea game, all right, I picked Chelsea. I wanted Chelsea to lose, but then I was like, I'm kidding. I never wanted Chelsea to lose. I don't like Porto. I do not. The one thing I will say is I rooted for Chelsea in this competition because I just don't like Porto. So the fact that they're beating Porto makes me happy. So, So I think PSG goes through. I think Chelsea goes through.
Let's talk about the game that everyone's talking about right now, the Real Madrid versus Liverpool game. Can
I just say what I think about the game? I think it's, again, we spoke about it, didn't we, Carl? It's probably the best game of the tournament. They're just phenomenal teams. But again, I thought PSG was very smart the way they played because Bayern lacked pace at the back. And people say pace isn't everything, but the way Bayern play with a high line, pace is important. We saw Liverpool last season be so successful with it because they have Van Dijk, Gomez, Trent and Robertson, who are quick players, and it worked for them. But I think when you lose the likes of Alphonso Davies, Benjamin Pavard, players like that who are not maybe Pavard, maybe not the quickest, but he's smart and he reads the game well. And when you've got Nicolas Soule, Soule reads the game very well, but he hasn't got the pace, and it completely ruins him because Mbappe tortured him.
He's out too.
He is out, but they haven't got any centre backs because Lucas Hernandez can't play centre back because he's far better at left back than he is at centre half. Not just that though, Mbappe just scored 2 goals as well in the league again, and also I'm going to send you this in a minute, Carl, as well. We'll screenshot it now. There's talk, isn't there, of Hansi Flick might be leaving Bayern Munich to take up the job from Lowe at the end of the year because what's it called? Apparently he's not happy, but look, he's a great coach, but I just think PSG win, and I think they win better than they did last time. I think PSG win 3-0, and I think Mbappe scores, and then Neymar gets 2 goals this time instead of the other way around.
Okay, let's talk about Liverpool and Real Madrid. Real Madrid, Liverpool. Can Liverpool do another Barcelona?
Man, I think I put too much faith in Liverpool for this. For the first leg, I really didn't see them losing to Real Madrid without Ramos, their leader. And man, it just shows that their midfield is still so good. I mean, watching that game, how they controlled it. I don't think Liverpool. If Liverpool had their defensive line, I give them a fighting chance to be back in this game. But without that solid defense that they used to have, I think Real Madrid, Zidane is too smart. So I think they win this. Not comfortably, but I think they win it enough to pull them through. But yeah, I see Liverpool dropping out of this competition, which is why I feel once they drop out, that emphasis towards the league is just a laser focus towards the league. But anyways, that conversation's over. But yeah, I see Real Madrid pulling through.
So it looks like we all agree it's going to be, except for five, it's going to be PSG, Liverpool, Chelsea, and then the last one, Dortmund versus City, which is basically the big.
Woo!
What do you think about that game? Are we going to get through? Is this of all the games this year, this is one I'm most nervous about. The league doesn't make me nervous. Carabao Cup doesn't make me nervous. FA Cup, I couldn't care less for the most part. This one for me is the one that I probably drinking coffee and drinking tea in the morning.
Yeah, I think we go through. I think we go through on this one because I don't see how they stop us from scoring. That's the thing. Yeah. I think everybody there's too much emphasis on they scored an away goal. I mean that's assuming that City isn't going to score. I don't see that happening. I think City scores. I think we go through, and I think the players, their mentality changes for this game, especially all the players that didn't play this weekend. They change because Kevin De Bruyne they're going to beat it into their head that you got to focus. And I think Charlie had a question. Who do you play, Laporte and Diaz? I play with the players that brought you here. I play Stones and I play Diaz because that kid, Erling Haaland, as much as they say, they want to talk, that guy's strong. What I saw him do to Diaz in that game where he almost scored that goal, that let me know you cannot put Laporte in there against him because Laporte, sometimes he plays like he's not strong enough. You need somebody that's physical with Erling. For him to do that to Diaz, I was like, oh my goodness. Like if he was onside, that's a goal. I was like, okay, we can't play around with this kid. Even if they get 2 chances, just like, anything can happen in the game. Just like with Leeds this weekend, they had 2 chances, they scored 2 goals. Don't take chances on the fact that, we're going to limit their chances. That those 2 chances that they might have might be crucial. So you play your best defenders that brought you this far. That's how I feel. Laporte comes in, maybe if one of those guys is tired, but I think we pull through.
Yannick and Carl, I thought of that. City actually have the best away record in the Premier League and the best away record in Europe. So I was doing some research. I tweeted this to you, Yannick. I said, which team has the best away record in the Premier League? People think it's Man United. Actually, it's not. It's City. They have the most points away. Right.
With Man United, what it is they're unbeaten in 23, but we were unbeaten in a ridiculous amount as well. And that's not all wins. They've got quite a lot of draws in that as well. So it's just what people say to try and scare you. But like Man City in Europe kept 7 clean sheets in a row. And then we didn't keep a clean sheet against Dortmund, but we conceded only 1 goal. So I think if you look at it from, if you were just betting and it wasn't a real team and you were just saying, okay, this has happened, what do you expect to happen?
Yeah.
You would expect Man City to go through. So I think, like I said before, a lot of what sent us out of Europe in the past is conceding 2 or 3 goals in a game and 2 or 3 away goals. And how many times have we gone out on away goals? So I think the fact that we only conceded 1 away goal means we should go through, you know. So it would have to take Man City not turning up to go out. I think we can go there. We can afford to actually lose 3-2. We can afford to lose and still go through. So it's one of them where I think we need to go there. We need to get an early goal that puts all the pressure on them. And then I think we can just go through the game. And then if we concede, we don't need to worry too much. And I think we're just going to have to play like that because it's just going to be any other result. If they score first, Man City will start panicking. And that's what I don't want to see. So we need an away goal and we need it early. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't trust Man City in Europe. I'd love to sit here now and be like, yeah, we'll do it. But I don't trust us in Europe. So I want to see an early away goal in the first minute so I can relax. But yeah.
Spoken like a trooper who's been through the difficult days. I love the perspective. This is the fan base, right? There's the newer fans who are more optimistic, but the old fans who know the club in and out, who know the DNA, who know there's always that typical thing around the corner, which we all appreciate getting to learn that. Carl Blundell, what do you think about this game? I'm tired to wrap the segment up. What do you think about this game?
I think the problem is Sancho's back, I think, and he is, even if he's not getting goals or assists, he's one of the hardest players to deal with. He's so good on the ball. And like he makes passes that are just crazy. And not just that, Dortmund just came off a very good result against Stuttgart. Stuttgart 8th in the Bundesliga. They've caused a lot of problems. They beat Dortmund early on in the season 5-1. But and Stuttgart played very well. The manager's got them really set up. But Dortmund played well. Haaland got a goal, so he seems backfiring. But I don't think Haaland really had a clear shot in that game. It was a lot of half chances, which, let's be honest, not many strikers can make from half chances. But I think City done that was a lot like last year. City had chance after chance after chance. Waste. And we saw that the last 2 games for City. They've wasted, I think it's something like, the start was something like 40 chances, 35 chances or something, and you've scored 3 goals. Sorry, 2 goals in 2 games, which you look at that's pretty poor. And both the opposition didn't really have that many shots and got 3 goals against you. So it is one of them. If you turn up like you have most games, like you did against Mönchengladbach, calm, good with the ball, you flow and movements, and you take your chances, then you'll go through. But I think if you turn up like you have the last 2 games, I think Dortmund will beat you because you can't be letting Sancho time on the ball. And I think if you just play Mendy, then it's a definite Dortmund win because I think Mendy he doesn't defend. You know what I mean?
Mendy's not going to play. I can guarantee he's not going to play in that.
I think. I don't want to sound negative. Sound like I'm just being an idiot for being an idiot's sake because just to switch the coin. But it's just one of them. It depends on what Pep plays because Pep overthinks the Champions League a lot. I don't know why he does it. He done it at Bayern and he done it to be fair. He won it at Barca, but he used to do it at Barca. You know what I mean? For most of his time at Barca, he played with a centre forward, with a false 9. I think it was the semi-finals a few years back. Changed it up to a striker instead of a false 9. And no wingers, and just a flat diamond shape. So he does change it up, and it's one of them. If he changes it up, will it go wrong again for him? But look, I think he's learned from his mistakes, and I see City winning 3-1.
Well, I think I read a book about the whole Dortmund Bayern thing when he was there, about the changes. Like it was a game against Atletico Madrid where he changed. He didn't want to change his tactics, but I think at the last minute, I think the players and the coaches came to him and he changed his system to a 4-2-4, and he got beat. He got counter-attack. So I hope he's learned. I mean, the first leg of the game when we saw the false 9, Yannicka, I think for us, that told us that Pep hasn't changed. He's going to play the team that's in form. And I reckon on Wednesday, he's going to play the same system. Trust the players who've got you this far in the system that's worked for you, which is kind of similar to what Chelsea play now, a 3-box-3, a 3-2-2-3. Look at how they play.
You should play Torres.
So it's going to be really interesting. But I think we go through. I think we actually win the game tomorrow.
Torres doesn't play.
Torres has to play. I think Torres is one of City's, to be honest. No. Torres, and I'll tell you why. Because
he's not going to play Torres. Let it go. He's not playing Torres. He's playing Mahrez.
the reason why I like about Torres is Torres gave the ball away a lot against Leeds. You know what I mean? He didn't really have many chances, but the good thing is he reminds me in a way, nowhere near as good, but he reminds me of a bit of a Sadio Mane, where Mane can have a really bad game. Not this season, Mane's been really poor this year, but more of Mane the last few years. He can have poor games and he scores. You look at Torres, he's your top scorer in the Champions League. When he plays...
To be fair, Torres is actually one of the top scorers in the Champions League. That's fair. But I think in this kind of game where you need some control, I think he's going to go with Riyad Mahrez because he trusts Riyad Mahrez in these big games to do something. That's what I think.
You got to put the people that have been there.
Yeah, he may bring in. I know Foden, De Bruyne, and Mahrez are probably going to start that game. Foden is going to start that game because Foden has the smell of the goal. He's probably the best finisher in the game in the Man City side. So I think he's going to play Foden. The question is, does he play?
Based on who he rested, he's going to start exactly the same team.
Exactly.
Because he rested Kyle Walker, he rested Diaz, he rested Foden. Obviously, he brought Foden back out. Gundogan as well. But De Bruyne was rested. Mahrez was rested. So that tells me he's going to start exactly the same team in the beginning. Whether he brings someone on, later on if it's not going our way. But I think he's going to start the same team because I think Pep is a bit paranoid because now he's gone from one extreme where he was overthinking it to everyone pointing it out to where he said he's almost like, I can't overthink it now. So he played exactly the same team that he played against Borussia, Mönchengladbach. He played exactly the same team and we won. So he will play exactly the same team because he doesn't want to be blamed. If we go out, it's on the players. And to be fair, it should be on the players. Because
I think she's spot on.
Their mentality if they don't get through, because he's got on paper we're better than Dortmund. We've got a 1-goal lead. Them players should be winning that game for Pep. I don't think it's on Pep now, honestly.
Yeah,
I think she's spot on. Go ahead.
She's one of correct. She's absolutely. That's why I like her on the channel because she's absolutely correct. She brings this point of view. So, Bernardo Silva, should they? Charlie's asking, should he play?
I think Bernardo Silva. Oh, go ahead. I'll let Ty answer that.
No. I mean, Yannick said it perfectly. By the players you guys rested, play the same players, move on. You might consider goal, but City is going to move on. I remember last week I said it's not an easy win, but I will be shocked if City doesn't go through. So it's easy going forward. I also said last week, remember, regardless of the form that Liverpool is in, you never bet against Zizzy when it comes to Champions League. He's won it 3 times back to back, and you can't stop that. He's about to win the league and Champions League in the same year right now, and he's doing well. So I'm scared. To answer Bolu's question, I would be terrified next match if Chelsea goes through and takes place in Madrid. I can't bet against this. Even though Chelsea is my team, I can't bet against Zidane in Champions League. It's one of those things like law fixes. You can't define it. I don't know. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but Ronaldo did carry him though. Like without Ronaldo, Zidane wouldn't have probably won 1 Champions League. Like you can see, I think the decline of Real Madrid ever since Ronaldo left. Like the mentality as well isn't there. I think a lot of people hate Ronaldo and just don't want to admit it. The man's mentality is just it's elite. You know what I mean? He scores a hat-trick sometimes and he's not even happy with that. And I think you've seen it since he's left Madrid. The squad's it's still a great squad, but I just don't think they have the quality to go all the way.
But you gotta admit that what you miss from Ronaldo, Benzema has picked up. So unless Benzema gets injured, I still the same result.
Yeah, but you can also look at last year. Let's be honest, City beating Real Madrid, but you switch that on its head. Would City got the same result if Ronaldo was playing? Because Vinicius Junior, he's a good player, but he misses so many chances. Asensio, good player.
I understand that.
Ronaldo, you back Ronaldo 9 out of 10 in front of goal. To me, he's still the best. It's controversial. Still the best player in the world for me. No, it's controversial. I still think he's the best. I don't think anyone's better than him.
Yeah, and we'll talk about.
You don't think Lewandowski's better than Ronaldo right now?
Ronaldo has 27 goals this season for Juventus in the league, and the
Playing
players.
in the Italian league. I'm talking about if you look at what Lewandowski is doing in his league and in the Champions League, it's not even close.
Yeah, but I think you've got to take into account the players Ronaldo's playing with. Like Lewandowski, Lewandowski's incredible, but I think he's playing with the likes of Gnabry, Alphonso Davies, Kingsley Coman, Leroy Sané, Muller, Goretzka, world-class players, Kimmich. Let's be honest, Dybala's not really featured that much because he's not that happy.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's playing with Alvaro Morata.
Also, Ronaldo scores a lot of penalties, but I don't want to get sidetracked. But
Yeah.
so,
Ronaldo's biggest problem is his coach. I'm sorry. I don't think the coaches. I don't think Pirlo is a tough.
It's not. Okay, so we're going to talk about semifinals. Hopefully, Chelsea get through. Hopefully, City get through, and then we'll talk about the semifinals. Potentially, PSG, City, Real Madrid, Chelsea. After next week, for the most part. But just to wrap up real quick. Any chance for Arsenal in the Europa League? Any hope for them to get through and win Europe? Because it's going to make the top four interesting in England, right? If Chelsea City get the final and Arsenal get to the final, now you know that top four is no longer going to be available. It's gone. Any hope for Arsenal, or should we let Arsenal get knocked out? It helps Chelsea and Liverpool.
If you have Arsenal fans here, they will tell you they have no hope. So, speaking on behalf of my friends that are Arsenal fans, no hope.
On that note of no hope, we will have hope for Chelsea. We will have hope for City on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and then we meet again, Chelsea City, on Saturday for the FA Cup. So until next time, folks, join us for the review of the Champions League games this week and the FA Cup next week, and we'll preview hopefully the semifinals for both clubs next week's show. Until then, thanks, Yannicka, for joining us again on this fantastic show.
Thanks for having me.
I did, my guy. Oshegon, thank you so much.
no doubt. This is fun.
Carl, my brother from Everton. Wonderful to see you. Good luck, man, on your Europa League chase, brother.
End the season, please. And thanks for having me on as well. Thanks for having me on. And it's nice to talk to you. So, you're all legends. So it's great to talk to you.
Ty, my other deep blue brother. Good to have you on.
Thank you for having me. And Kyle, the lone toughie. Have faith in Carlos, man. Carlos Ancelotti is the man.
It's Gylfi Sigurdsson and Iwobi.
For all those who join us for the comments, thank you so much for joining this show, Afrobeat Life Fan Zone in collaboration with Pitch Points. We appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back for some more next week. Till that time, take care and see you.